Welcome back. In the last episode, we looked at the basics of artificial intelligence, what it is and how it works. In this episode, it's time to step it up and look at more advanced techniques on how AI can be tailored to your business, all the while keeping sensitive information secure. It is me again, Jelle, part of the AI initiative here at McCoy. I think most of us will agree that AI can be quite useful. Anyone who has used the tools such as ChatGPT or Gemini before can attest to that. However, in order for AI to truly give your company an advantage, it needs to do more than just the basics. It needs to understand and integrate with your business's systems and processes. At the same time, privacy and data security and compliance need to be taken into careful consideration. Let's look into how this can be accomplished. AI has a great amount of general knowledge. Whether it's the height of the Mount Everest or the population of the Netherlands, it always has an answer. But when you ask questions about your company, whether we still have inventory, what the status of a ticket is, or when your colleague returns from holiday, it doesn't know or even hallucinates. The issue stems from the fact that these questions can only be reasonably answered with company data that isn't publicly available, which therefore the AI model couldn't have been trained with. But having this functionality would be incredibly useful, so how can we achieve this? The concept of giving an AI access to company resources, to give it some context, is called grounding. And there are several ways in which this can be achieved. Firstly, system prompts are by far the most basic, but they allow you to give instructions in natural language to the AI a user gets to interact with. These instructions can contain basic information about your company, as well as tell the AI how to behave depending on the situation. It is a great starting off point for grounding, but the information you can put in is relatively limited and tends to be static. Tools, on the other hand, are functions your AI can use to interact with external systems. This means your AI can dynamically fetch fresh data, such as recent purchase orders, or even perform actions such as sending out an update, depending on the query of the user. This requires a bit more effort to implement, especially if the systems are company-specific, but they are by far the most powerful. RAG, Retrieval Augmented Generation, on the other hand, is a particular type of tool that allows you to extract company data from documents. Most businesses already have some kind of document repository full with information that could be really useful to an AI. However, the amount of data could easily overwhelm an AI if they were ingested through a system prompt. RAG solves this by using a clever search engine. This search engine looks through documents based on meaning rather than word matching. This allows the search engine to find documents even if they phrase things differently or are in a different language. Then the AI loads in information from documents relevant to the user's query and gives you an answer. Ideally, you don't just choose one of these techniques, but instead combine all of them to leverage the advantages each of them offers. This way, you achieve a capable AI that can provide real value to your business. When hearing about how AI can access your company's resources, the question naturally arises: is this even safe and secure? Luckily, where there's a will, there's a way. No matter your company's situation, there are always several ways to achieve security compliance no matter what. The first thing you should know is that well-known AI providers such as ChatGPT and Gemini are far from the only options. If you would prefer to use services from a company you already have an established relationship with, you can have AWS, Azure, or SAP AI Core be your provider. In case there's a preference for AI models created in the EU, Mistral can be a good option. And in cases where confidentiality has the utmost priority, there's the option to run AI fully on-premise. Secondly, it is important to understand the way tools are architected. Tools by default do not provide access to data unless it is manually and therefore deliberately implemented. Rather than opening the floodgates and limiting the data AI receives, we deliberately create small access points that only lead to data appropriate for the AI. Furthermore, the tools make use of standard APIs and interfaces provided by your company's systems, which means those systems will always hold ultimate authority in regards to which data is accessible or not. Likewise, when it comes to RAG, you are also in full control. Which documents get exposed to the AI is fully up to you. Permissions can be set based on folders, but also other permission systems like ACLs in SharePoint, so that any permissions you might have set up in the past are respected without the risks of setting up a separate permission system. In this episode, we have looked into how AI can be tailored to your business and how this can be done in a safe and secure way. To summarize, in order for AI to truly provide additional value to your business, it has to be integrated with your company's systems and processes. There are several techniques to achieve this grounding, such as system prompts, tools, and RAG. Meanwhile, data security can be achieved by choosing an appropriate AI provider and carefully considering the implementation of tools and RAG. Now that we know what is needed to take your business to the next level, I'm excited to tell you more about the various SAP-compatible solutions that can help you get there. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow our blog to be the first to know when the next follow-up episode releases. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Have a great day!